Hi boys and girls! For today's science lesson, our learning target is that you can observe, ask questions, and make a model of your thinking. So at the beginning of third grade, we're going to dig into a unit about the weather. And I'm going to get your thinking going by showing you a mysterious weather thing that happened somewhere in the world. And hopefully it's going to get you going like, whoa, what happened? And a lot of questions and just interesting stuff to observe. Now, as we learned in math this morning, a mental model is a way to show your thinking using pictures and words and sometimes numbers, sometimes even things you build. Scientists are just like mathematicians in that way. They make models to show their thinking and to show the way different stuff in the world works. In this case, the models are going to show how the weather works. So I've made a Google Doc for you to record your thinking in today. That works best for recording models that use words to explain. But if your brain really likes to also record your thinking with pictures and make diagrams of what's going on too, that is awesome. You could definitely have a science journal or some sort of piece of paper to sketch your model. Just make sure you hang on to it, because as we go through our learning about weather, we're going to come back and add to these models. Because that's another thing scientists do. As they learn more stuff, that changes their model, and they go, oh, okay, well that kind of changes my thinking, and I'm going to adjust in this way. We're going to revisit these models at the beginning, the middle, and toward the end of our learning, because you're going to know more and more things. The more you know, the better you can explain what's going to happen. The better you can explain what happened in this weird weather mystery event. Once more, my goal in this unit is for you to be able to explain why this mystery weather thing happened. For that to happen, your thinking is going to change, and that's a good thing. Just like scientists, the more you know, the more your thinking changes. So, let's take a look at some mysterious weather. This weather mystery begins on June 29th, 2019, last summer. It was summer in the city of Guadalajara, Mexico, right there on the map. Just for your reference, we live right here, the little indent in Washington State. There had been hot weather in Guadalajara for weeks, and it was hot that day as well. You can see everybody's in their summer clothes, beautiful blue sky, at least in this corner. As night fell on June 29th, it stayed warm. And then people woke up in the middle of the night to a huge ice storm. Pieces of ice were falling from the sky. As more and more pieces of ice fell from the sky onto the warm ground, the ice began to melt. It formed an icy stream running through the streets, just like this. And then the small stream grew bigger and bigger. It became a raging, frosty river, pushing cars and trucks down the street. The following morning, people came out and found the ice piled up on a few streets. Thankfully, nobody had been hurt, but this is what it looked like. So take a minute and talk to someone nearby at home. What do you notice about how the people are dressed as they explore these huge piles of ice? Pause the video if you need more time to discuss. Here's something else to talk about. This is what the pieces of ice looked like. Have you ever seen anything like that fall from the sky? Talk to someone near you. Remember, you can always pause the video if you need more time to talk. Now, I'm going to walk you through doing a paper very similar to this that's in your Google Doc. So you'll probably want to open the video, watch a little bit, pause the video, work on your paper, and go back and forth like that. We will be observing using the C column. Then we're going to jump over and wonder what's going on with our questions. And then at the end, you're going to try and explain what you think is going on. That's the part where you do your mental model. Remember, that will change as you learn more, but we're going to get what you think is going on with what you know right now. So in the first column, the what do you see, write down things you observe with your eyeballs. Remember, these aren't predictions or guesses about what's going on. These are just your observations. Go over to that Google Doc and write your answers in the C column. Aim to get at least 4 things that you see. You can use these pictures or other videos and pictures I showed you in the earlier part. We're going to do this part in a minute. Now, let's do your questions. What are you wondering about this storm? Write your questions in the wonder column of your chart. Aim to get at least 4 questions that you would like the answer to. Okay, now it's the time for the think section. How do you think an ice storm could happen during warm weather? This is the part where you try to explain what is going on, how it happened, and why it happened. If you just now got to your chart, remember that the C part is what you observed as you watched the part of the video about Guadalajara, Mexico, and the storm. Remember to only write things you observed in the C column. Then you're going to do the wonder column, questions you have. For think, you're going to try and explain. Now it's okay if you don't have all the answers yet, because every lesson that I'm going to teach you for science is going to give you more pieces of the puzzle to help you build your mental model better and better, and eventually explain what happened, how it happened, and why it happened that way. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.